Okay.
All the main ones.
Yes. Time to get started.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, morning. Let's get started. Okay, it's our lesson about evolution. It's lesson 2, all right? It's for year 10, and today we are going to focus on 3 elements about deep understanding: explicit quality, accurate area, and connectedness, all right? Okay, and first, we want to recall and have a quick revision of last lesson we had about the invasive species. But due to the time limitation, we'll skip this part. So we'll get collected, we're going to collect the elements and factors from students about factors like temperature, the sea, light, and predators like that, and put them on the whiteboard, which led to selection pressure. So we're going to explore the first definition of this class, the selection pressure, an environmental factor that influences what individuals survival and reproduce. So, do everyone know some factors can affect the survival and reproduction for the animals? Did you know the types of that? Or any of that? Yep.
Amount of food available.
Amount of food available.
Yep.
Yep. Anything else? Yep.
Predators?
Predators? Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. Anyone else?
I remember last week, well, last week, we
Yeah.
were talking about why we cannot bring honey to Kangaroo Island. Any thought on that?
Yeah.
Disease?
Disease? Yes, good. Anything else? Yes.
Competition?
Competition. That's right. Yeah.
Environmental changes happening, like habitat changes.
Excellent. That's good. So we will divide the factors into 2 types, which is biotic and abiotic. So in the biotic factors, yes, we have predation, competition, disease, and sexual selection. And meanwhile, the biotic is temperature, water, light, soil, and pollution. Which means the animals live in there will face these factors, which will let them to show the adaptation to the environment. So adaptation is animals' adaptation. Yep. A heritable characteristic that increases an organism's chance of survival and reproduction in its environment. Okay? So is everyone clear with these 2 definitions? And then any question? Nope. That's all right. Let's go to the next part. Let's watch these 2 pictures of the different foxes. You find something different between these 2 pictures?
Color?
Color. Yep. Anything else? The size of ears. Why did them show the adaptation of these differences? Did you have a guess? Can you have a guess?
The environment that they live on?
Yep. So we call them as selection pressure, right? The factors they encounter. So we'll show that when they face different selection pressure, like in some cold regions like Antarctic, its temperature is pretty low, and meanwhile in the desert is pretty high. Yep. And which means we focus on the differences about the color and the size of ears, which will make them survival better or survive successfully. It's called survival, and it's in the different color and thicker fur and show their adaptation. So at last, adaptation means during over generations, thin fur, the color, and the small ears are more common over generations in the Antarctic area, just like Antarctic fox. And the finneck fox will have thinner fur and big ear, and the color, like the soil, become more common over generations. All right. So we'll have this line to analyze the selection pressure and lead to survival better, and at last, I will show them adaptation. Is that clear? Okay, with this line, okay? And then we'll have a case study about the English prepared mouth. Okay.
In this video, please focus on right.
You forgot to enable content.
Really?
Yeah.
The peppered moth is a humble moth with an incredible story. It's famous for being one of the best examples of evolution by natural selection, a theory described by Charles Darwin. During the daytime, peppered moths love to rest among lichen-covered trees and shrubs. Their white speckled colouring provides the perfect camouflage for avoiding detection by predators such as birds. But some peppered moths have a genetic variation that causes them to have entirely black wings. Against the lichen, they can be easier to spot and so less likely to survive, reproduce, and pass on their genes. However, during the Industrial Revolution, pollution from factories and coal fires blackened tree trunks and killed off the lichen. Now it was the pale moths that became easier for predators to spot, while the darker moths were better camouflaged. This meant that the darker form became more common. But by the mid-1900s, air pollution was reduced and the environment became cleaner again, and so the pale moths, once again, had the advantage. This incredible story shows how natural selection can enable a population of moths to adapt to changes in the environment. Now, what an amazing moth.
All right, after watching this short video, we will focus on 4 questions about this video. First, is there selection pressure for moths? If so, what is it? And meanwhile, my partner will show a poster drawing about this moths and analyze, okay? So the first question is there selection pressure for moth? If so, what is it? Anyone? Yeah.
The colour of the trees and the print.
Yeah, the color of the trees and predators, right? Anything else? And vectors?
I guess also pollution.
Pollution.
Pollution change to the environment.
I think it should be. It's a is it biotic or abiotic?
Pollution is
Abiotic.
but predators biotic.
So it's not a factor of selection pressure. Yes. So pollution caused the color change of the trees, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a factors. I think that okay. So the color of the tree and moth, and the second is predators, right?
Didn't you have, wasn't pollution under abiotic
That's what I said.
factors?
Yeah, pollution's an abiotic.
Yeah.
Bella, okay. Yeah, okay. Which means you're better than teachers, right? Okay, anything else? No? All right, let's go to the next question. How does such traits lead to survival advantage? Which means to make the most survive better and successfully.
Well, it depends at what time, because before and after the Industrial
Mhm.
Revolution, it was the pale moths.
Yeah.
They could survive better because the light on
So
the
let's just
trees.
compare the base after and before the Industrial Revolution, right? During the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before and after the Industrial Revolution, there was lichen on the trees, so the pale moths could survive better. Whereas during the Industrial Revolution, the lichen died, and the black moths could survive better.
Yeah,
So-
because the predators are harder to find them, right? Yeah. So, the color. So which means after during the revolution, during the Industrial Revolution, the color of the heart, black or dark, are easier to survive, right? Okay. Anything else? Anything else? No? Okay, let's go to the next question. What adaptations allow moths to live successfully in England's climate and landscape? So what adaptations? Yeah,
Color of their wings.
yep, over generations, right?
Yes.
That they'll change gradually. Yes.
I guess specifically the whatever genetic mutation that caused peppered moths to not be peppered, like the black to have a solid color and not to have a solid color, whichever gene it was.
Yeah, the genes
So-
passed down, right? Yeah. Okay, genes passed down. Okay, anything else?
I guess the environment where they live, like, there's a specific tree that they can blend into, so
Mhm.
they're probably,
Environment?
yeah, the environment,
So they're more like moth might just go to other place. Is that
Yeah.
what you mean?
yeah.
Yeah. So environment.
All we can say is some migration, right?
Right.
Yeah, good. Okay, the final question. How might change in environment affect moth?
I mean, it's kind of what we've spoken about, like, the pollution, the lichen made it easier for the light-colored moths not to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
and the pollution from the environment into the environment made it easier for the darker moths not to be seen.
Which means, in general, we just change the selection pressure for moth, right? Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Anything else? Change the selection. Change the selection. Okay. All right, and the rest of lessons, let me show them on my partners to show you to do some very interesting things. All right.
And in the middle, I'm going to draw a little more. And I will try my best.
It's like a butterfly.
I have tried my best. All right. Is that good? Yeah? All right, good. Now come to our practice part. All right, so please pick out the paper on your table and find your group member. Kangaroo. That's two kangaroos actually.
Oh, there are two kangaroos.
Oh, there's two kangaroos.
Yeah,
How about
so
Joey?
just to finish the jigsaw,
Oh, the
right?
kangaroo with the Joey.
And
here.
you will need your laptop.
Oh.
The jumping
Yeah.
Yes, kangaroo with Joey. He's got the head.
And the Chelsea. I'm on my way. It's the same group in real life.
You will need your laptop.
It's really smooth.
It's satisfying.
I'll do please stay here.
I
And walk close to alright? Oh, yes.
Oh, you want to stay there? Alright.
Yeah. We think the same thing.
Alright, you will need your laptop, so please, at least one people grab your laptop with you.
So we're not doing evolution,
I'm gonna follow something.
Alright. So now we are going to make a poster like what I see here. Okay? Next slide. Wait, what happened? Alright. So for this group, a pouch rat, right? We are going to investigate why kangaroo evolved to have pouch. Why not just give a birth to a baby and then they can jump, right? And for this group, why kangaroo jump? I mean, there are so many animals out there, but they're just walking, right? I think kangaroo is probably the only animal on the earth who do jumping all the time, isn't it? And for the last group, we are going to investigate why koala evolved to eat eucalyptus. Alright? So, in the poster, please include these 4 questions, like what I did here. So we have selection pressure. All you need to find is what selection pressure lead to this kind of behavior. Alright? The next part is about how does this trait lead to animals survive better? So that's survival advantage. How does kangaroo hawk help it survive better? And next is adaptation. Adaptation is quite easy because it's all on there. So it jump, you have baby, you have pouch, you eat eucalyptus. So this should be fine. Now, the last question is how might changing environment affect this species? So you can think about any kind of scenario. For example, if there's a bushfire, there's a, I don't know, like suddenly become cold or become desert, what will like affect the animal you will investigate on, okay? And in this poster, please use the application of evolutionary concept, such as selection pressure, adaptation, and variation.
Oh, the variation is not mandatory this time, okay?
Yes.
You can just mention it.
All right, and then use scientific explanation to show, well, why is that, and how does that cause the survival advantage and adaptation. And next, you need to use evidence. You cannot just come up with something, well, it helped because you want to. Right? You need to find something on the website. You don't need to include that in the poster. But you're ready to share with us if we feel like, well, that's not true, okay? And then you need to have clear design of heading, drawing, and concept test. So we have heading here, and then we have a little drawing. If you want to draw more, that's fine. I like autistic student. All right, then next we need collaboration. So ideally, you will have one scribbler in a group, and then we will have one presenter. The other 2 person, you can just help search in the website and make sure everything on track, okay? Now, let's work on it.
Yeah, we need a drawing on. We're supposed to be making a on the tissue paper or something.
Alright, let me get like but because of the way that they had evolved like trees, when they got to the ground, their feet like they weren't suited to walking. So their body kind of adapted to figure out a way, the way that it was. So essentially, because the leg was very long, it couldn't walk or run properly. So like the muscles in its it's like a spring. Yeah, so
Guys, listen, you need to develop
the giant spring. Yeah, the tendon strength they generate more damage needed each hop. So it's very different to humans, which is usually like very
this is not
so that's how they jump, but I guess they just
So she has multiple nipples
they change their environment.
and like one will be just for like the newborn, so like the newborn will crawl up and latch and like stay there. And then they jump older one that will go in and out, and there's another T in the older
Jumping
one.
up and down and feels their
And did you know
contract
kangaroos
their
are
lungs?
just
So they say
enough
So like,
resources.
like if it's a lot of energy for us to jump, but for
For
kangaroos, it's like,
kangaroos.
it's so easy for them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it says they hop 25 kilometers short.
30
And they
days.
can
30
reach
days,
70 kilometers.
yeah.
Like on average.
Yeah, so
That's
they're
bad.
kind of 30 days.
So they're really prematurely.
Yeah, they're little jelly beans with
So
arms.
it's an energy efficient way to travel, which does not cover very big distances to search for food or water.
You get to watch
And
the
the red
last
kangaroo
kangaroo
thrives
right?
in the climate of Australia.
Maybe they stopped showing that. They tormented us with birth of the red kangaroo. I think we started with that and then we actually had birth of the human afterwards.
And then you two.
Yeah, I guess it also has
Doesn't work.
but I think also because they're so muscular, they kind of
That's
become.
cute.
Alright, so we want to post it like that, I guess, in
Kangaroos
four.
have predators?
Are you an artist? Can you draw it?
What would be a
Not at all,
kangaroo?
but, you know, I'm
Predators
not.
also value developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Because they are pests, there's too many of them.
I mean, probably their biggest issue is humans.
Yes. Big fan. Big fan.
Dingoes
So
love
that's
eating.
Maybe like short in the tree.
Especially, I would say, the biggest issue is
child develops
cars.
its brain and
I honestly,
Yeah.
I think a kangaroo would take out.
So human, that's its baby.
Yeah, human
Yeah,
beings are the
literally,
biggest predator.
it's a jelly bean with arms.
Yeah, they fight.
Crawls up and then attaches itself on the nipple.
But they're
I
so,
saw,
they're so
um,
calm down,
I
and
know
they're so,
like
they're mental animals
Yeah.
too.
It's dream.
So that means that they
kangaroos
support
are
each other, it's like,
and it's
like
literally
lions.
like
Like
dangling,
tigers,
hanging
like, there's
onto the
usually
teeth
like
with
one
like
that's
the
like,
hands grabbing two
I
little
don't know
pieces
how
of
they-
fur. And it's just like
very scary. And also there are different types of kangaroos, because I think is that like a red-tailed kangaroo?
Oh, that, what's those things called?
I think there's a big one.
Oh my god, they're so big.
That's rumen masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They could be like a body resources for
Yeah.
They could like wrestle or something.
My dad's got a scar down his forearm,
really
when he
try
was
to make
hiking
everything
it.
as-
It's the
so,
Splendid
so
Ranges.
resources and
Yeah.
He was eating an apple.
They're really smart.
And a red kangaroo came up to him.
Attacking?
Stood
Alright,
up,
they
yeah,
get
yeah,
on.
and just grabbed the apple out of his hand and just like scratched all the way down his arm. He's still got the scar.
Yeah, because they
Yeah, that tiny
I think
boy
also,
thing.
I think part of the reason about how,
terrifying.
I know, I think part of the reason they used to have, like, well, they have such huge claws as well is because they've adapted from tree animals that needed to climb. They needed to like latch on, like koalas. Koalas have really sharp claws. But then, yeah, and it was also saying something about the tail is also like a balancing,
Sorry,
it's used to balance as well.
Yeah,
So their whole body is really built. They're quite small arms, but their balance is like fully like upright as well.
So maybe
because they
like
have
on the ground
the
and
stuff for
something
the
else.
energy.
Oh.
But if,
Yeah.
would they change
The
it
other thing
if
as
they
well is
suddenly got a
if you
lot of
see a
action?
kangaroo when it's not jumping, it's just moving around, it doesn't jump, it just it uses its tail to walk.
Alcohol, stress, a video of a kangaroo walking koalas trying to move.
Does look weird. The rest of the body. Alright, so
Food scarcity.
Okay, class, we have 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because it's on its tail.
survival finding,
Control.
and they're really still
And less energy to develop.
I'm very
Yeah, see, because it just balances on the tail.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So it uses kind of, because its front ones are so small, it kind of uses the front ones and the tail.
so the
as like
adaptation.
Yeah.
another set
So,
of legs.
Outback
Yeah,
Australia
because it
has
can't actually walk with its feet. They're too,
They're
too
way
large.
too soft. Because if they tried to put all their pressure on their front feet,
Yeah,
they would just fall on their heads.
yeah. I actually don't think they can.
And
And
predators.
need to travel
Yes.
long distance to get food.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
there's
it's
a lot
like
of predators
two at the
out
back and
there.
the two at the front work the same.
Yeah.
And it's the tail and the front ones that work together.
Big snake.
Sense.
Yeah, they basically just like pivot.
Big snake.
Like forward and backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, look at the size of those
So how
hips.
if
They
The
would not
environment
be able to use those legs.
changed, how would it
They would
affect
just like
the
swing their bodies back and forth.
so if suddenly Australia became a big
They are such a weird
they'd probably
So I've never like looked this closely at
keep them in
kangaroos
longer
before.
Yeah.
to
Look
develop
at their faces as well.
their
Like
bodies.
that's what freaks me.
I
They
thought
look really
there
cute.
was
They kind of like
and the arms can go on and
Yeah,
on
they do.
find things. kind of look like on their own, so they wouldn't want necessarily
Like
feel
deep
like
protection.
yeah.
Oh yeah, photo, they have from
I think the protection is also just because they
I
also
would
need
be
the
surprised.
nutrients.
We've also got the pathogens
But then
as
they-
well.
But what I meant is not in the pouch, right? It is like in the body.
Like development, so instead of 30 days, yeah,
25 kilometers an hour and then 60
Oh,
days.
Yeah, before they come into the pouch, like so
I mean, the thing
they
is,
come out
they
not as
go-
tiny jellyfish, but like
Over
maybe as like
9
slightly bigger.
meters.
I guess one way to think about it is like placental mammals versus
As
muscular
long as
like
more
what
efficient,
defines
effective to attack that.
for
Educate,
selection.
that's true.
Why do we keep our young 9 months?
Educate.
Because
Well, it's like touch as well,
That's really
as independent. Like some animals just like fall and they're barely
Oh,
walk.
goats.
Yeah, they just run off.
Goats, literally, they could just like fully be independent by the
Yeah.
time that they're born.
Exactly.
It's insane.
60, this is
So-
like-
But they're those herd animals that like predators will get them.
Yeah.
So they've got to be
They can't
independent
hop
as soon
backwards.
as like they come out.
That
so,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah, because
moment.
they're based on their tendons.
So yeah, if suddenly Australia.
Okay. Plus,
That surprised
judging from the voice, I think you're all ready to
Yeah.
share.
me. Okay.
So can one person from the group share what you have? Please not be the person who do the scrabbling, okay? Can we start with why do kangaroo have pouch?
Yes, so the two selection pressures we identified.
Do you want me to hold it up
Yeah.
for
Oh, yes,
you?
please. Thank you.
That's cute, right?
Sandy's drawing. Where the selection pressures were food scarcity and predators. So to elaborate on it, I suppose, because the outback would not have a lot of food for
Yes.
kangaroos to eat. The advantage would be that the mother can be foraging for food while simultaneously nursing the young, as well as apparently the uterus takes more energy to develop. So they've adapted to just have a pouch so that the young could just keep developing without having to develop a uterus. Like it takes less energy to develop a pouch than a uterus apparently. And also they can keep safe from predators. That's another selection pressure. And
Can you read my handwriting?
yeah.
How does the trait let them survive?
Oh,
Okay.
I think I've explained that. And the
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
adaptation, yeah. So the environmental change, like if the outback were to become a really lush green area with lots of food, I suppose they would have a longer gestation period, so they wouldn't just be born 30 days into it, which is like they just have like arms apparently. They're like really tiny jelly beans, is Sally's saying. So they would actually fully develop inside of a womb, maybe they would develop a uterus, and just hop out more independent. Possibly.
Yes. That's good. Alright, let's come to the next group.
We didn't do the poster, but that's
Alright.
Yeah, the concept map is better, I
I think so.
think. Okay.
Okay. I just realised that we didn't do, that's the same thing. But we found out why they jump, and it's because they used to be tree animals like millions of years ago, and then when they came down, their body was built to climb in trees. And so they couldn't like walk or run like normal animals. So basically their tendons are so like muscular that they basically built like springs essentially. So and because their arms at the front are so small, they needed to like develop a better way for running, because most like four-legged creatures like run on four legs, but yeah, it means that they can travel really long distances in a really short period of time, which means they can get food, they can get water, and they can survive like the harsh climates of Australia. It also means they're faster. They're very, very fast. They can get up to 70 kilometers an hour. They can travel 9 meters per jump if they need to. So that means they can get away from predators. Although we did find out the biggest natural predators of kangaroos are dingoes and humans. So, and I mean, it depends. There's lots of different species of kangaroo as well. But and then, yeah, also fun fact, they don't really need to breathe while they're jumping, because the act of jumping inflates and deflates their lungs for them. So they don't actually need to spend a lot of energy breathing, and they can actually do a lot more jumping, or like they can move a lot more distance without getting tired because they don't really expend much energy.
Yeah, and also like on that, what Lucy was saying about like their legs being basically springs. If you think about the way that most other animals jump, us included, is we rely entirely on our muscles. Like if we want to jump, it's our leg muscles doing all the work, and that tires you out a lot. Like the kangaroo rarely relies on muscles while it's jumping. It's basically just the tendons like contracting and then releasing the energy, which is obviously a lot more energy efficient.
Yeah, good.
Yep, that's
Yep,
good.
that's
I
good.
like how you
Excellent.
bring up the like how kangaroos used to live on a tree.
Yeah.
That's cool. Alright, now come to the last group. They got cute little koala as well.
Yeah, so why did koalas evolve to eat eucalyptus? So firstly, selection pressures, so there's not many other options for them, especially being tree dwellers. And as like Australia's climate got a lot drier, eucalyptus became sort of the main vegetation around.
Yep.
Survival advantages, so there's minimal competition for koalas. So each sort of group of koalas have evolved to eat a certain type of eucalyptus. So that means that one group of koala can eat one type and other eats a different type. And also there's not many other animals that eat eucalyptus. And it's an abundant resource. So it's everywhere, so it's easy to get. The adaptation, so eucalyptus is actually toxic, but they have adapted and evolved to have special gut bacteria that detoxifies it, and their sense of smell can identify the least toxic leaves and the most nutritious leaves for them to
Really?
eat. Yeah. And environment change, so we said bushfires, so that kills off a lot of food options, and potentially the eucalyptus they need to eat as well. But, yeah.
Yep. I think that's time, right? Alright, that's time. That's it for our lesson. Thank you.